Don't touch that, my mom snapped, slapping my son's hand away from the dessert table. That's for your cousin, not you. I froze in place, my chest tightening, then I quietly sent one text that changed everything. My name is Lena Carter, and I'm 34 years old. I'm a single mom, and I work as a dental assistant in a small clinic where the days feel long and the pay never stretches far enough. My son Caleb is 8, and he's the reason I keep pushing forward even when I feel like I'm running on empty. I count every dollar. I skip things for myself. I make sure he never goes without, even if I do. My family has always had a way of making us feel like we don't quite belong. They're polite about it in public, but there's always this quiet line drawn between us and them. My sister's kids get the best of everything. New clothes, bigger gifts, louder praise. They're the ones everyone calls the favorite, the ones who can do no wrong. Caleb started noticing it a couple years ago. He'd ask small questions like, why do they get more? And I'd give him soft answers that didn't really explain anything. I tried to protect him from the truth. I wasn't rich or glamorous, and I didn't have a big career or a fancy life. But I had something they didn't expect. I paid attention. I stayed quiet. I learned. And that day, when my mom embarrassed my son in front of everyone, something inside me finally shifted. This time, I wasn't going to stay silent. If you've ever had to stay strong for your child while people treated them like they didn't matter, hit subscribe. I see you. Tell me in the comments if you've had to protect your child from your own family. Click hype if you believe kids deserve better. The party was supposed to be simple. My parents' house was full, voices overlapping, the smell of grilled food still hanging in the air, while kids ran between chairs and tables. Plates clattered, laughter came and went in waves. Caleb stood near the dessert table, quiet as always, waiting his turn. Someone had already told the kids they could grab a cupcake. I saw him reach slowly, carefully, like he didn't want to take up too much space. Then my mom's hand came down. Quick, sharp. Not for you, she said, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. Those are for your cousin. Everything around me seemed to stop for a second. The laughter faded. A few people glanced over, then looked away just as fast. Caleb pulled his hand back like he'd been burned. I didn't know, he said quietly. My sister stood behind my mom, arms crossed. Well, we paid for those, she added, like it explained everything. I stepped forward, my voice steady even though my hands were shaking. Why are you treating him like that? My mom didn't even hesitate. Don't start drama. You always make things about you. I felt the heat rise in my face, but I swallowed it. Caleb stood beside me, staring at the floor. Later, I stepped into the hallway to breathe. That's when I heard them. My mom and sister, voices low but clear enough. She can't even provide properly, my mom said. We're just managing expectations, my sister replied. Something inside me snapped into place. Not loud, not explosive, just final. I pulled out my phone and sent a message. Short. Direct. They had no idea who I just reached. The rest of the afternoon only made it worse. Caleb was told to sit at a small side table with a couple of younger kids, away from the main group. The desserts stayed on the main table untouched except by my sister's children. I walked over once more. He can sit with us, I said. My mom didn't even look at me. Stop being sensitive. The words landed flat, like she'd said them 100 times before. Later, when more relatives arrived, my mom started talking louder than usual. Lena struggles, she said with a soft sigh, as if she was being kind. We help when we can. I felt every pair of eyes turn toward me, some full of pity, some just curious. I smiled tightly and nodded, like it didn't bother me, but inside I felt that familiar sting. Then came the final push. My sister walked over to Caleb with a cupcake. Here, she said, holding it just out of reach. Say thank you properly this time. Caleb looked at me first, then back at her. Thank you, he said, forcing the words out. He took the cupcake, but he didn't eat it. That was the moment I stopped reacting. I went quiet, completely quiet. I started noticing everything. The looks, the whispers, the way they spoke about me like I wasn't really there, and slowly my anger turned into something colder, something controlled. They thought they had already won. They thought I'd leave like I always did. What they didn't know was that I had been preparing for months, not for this exact moment, but for something like it. After Caleb went to sleep each night, I worked. Quietly. Consistently. I built something they would have laughed at if they knew. They spent years mocking people online, criticizing parents, judging strangers. They never realized they were reading my words. I created a space where people shared real stories, where parents talked about being overlooked, dismissed, underestimated. And it grew. Slowly at first, then faster than I expected. I stayed anonymous on purpose. I let them believe I was still struggling, still behind, still small, because the truth would mean more if it came at the right time. And that text I sent that day was not random. It was a signal, a step I had been waiting to take. They thought they knew me. They didn't even come close. I called Rachel that night. She's been my friend since we were kids, the only one who ever saw through all of it. You don't owe them silence anymore, she said. I sat on my couch, Caleb asleep down the hall, the house finally quiet. I know, I replied. She reminded me of everything I had built on my own, everything I had done without their help. Meanwhile, my family kept moving forward like nothing had happened, planning the next gathering, leaving me out of details. At one point, my mom said, maybe next time just come alone, it's easier. That was it. That was the line. Rachel helped me organize everything, screenshots, clips, dates. We planned carefully, not out of anger, but out of clarity. Another big family event was coming up, an anniversary party. Everyone would be there. They expected the same version of me, quiet, polite, invisible. But this time I was walking in with something they couldn't ignore. The party was crowded, louder than usual, voices filling every corner of the room. Glasses clinked, chairs scraped against the floor. My mom stood near the center, smiling as she gave a speech. We're so proud of this family, she said, especially my daughter and her kids. They are the pride of everything we've built. I stepped forward before she could finish. Can I say something? She looked surprised, then annoyed. Make it quick. I connected my phone to the TV. The room quieted. I've been working on something, I said calmly. Something you've all seen, even if you didn't know it was me. I opened my platform. The numbers alone made people lean in. Then I showed the posts, stories, situations, words that sounded familiar. My sister leaned toward me. Wait, that's you? I looked at her. Yeah, the one you all laughed at. Then I played the clip. My mom's voice, clear as day. Not for you. Silence hit the room hard. I didn't raise my voice. You didn't just insult me. You humiliated my son. People started shifting. Some looked at my mom. Others looked at me. For once, no one looked away. The balance had changed. I left early, holding Caleb's hand as we walked out into the cool night air. The noise from inside faded behind us. For the first time, I felt calm, not angry, just certain. Caleb looked up at me. Did I do something wrong? I stopped and knelt in front of him. No, I said gently. You did nothing wrong. Ever. In the days that followed, messages came in. Some apologizing, some trying to explain. I didn't answer most of them. I set boundaries. Real ones this time. Life became quieter, but stronger. And I understood something clearly. Respect isn't about family titles. It's about how you protect the people who depend on you. If your child has ever been treated like they were less than by your own family, you know how deep that cuts. Share your story in the comments. Subscribe if you believe every child deserves equal love and respect. Click hype to help this story reach others who need the strength to stand up. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every hype you give this video helps empower someone else. Thank you for being here and for listening.